Hey guys, doing a live. I haven't done one of these in a while. I was just gonna do my makeup, of course, so come get ready with me. I was actually just cleaning my brushes and I thought I would show you how I do that real quick. So I have my Seint brush cleanser, obviously, because this is the best. This is amazing. I was terrible about cleaning my brushes before I started using this stuff. I never cleaned my makeup brushes, ever. It was gross. I just never liked having to use soap and water and then wait for them to dry overnight. So what I like to do, my little quick method, is I'll have my brush and I'll have it just like up against the paper towel. And I just give it a quick spritz. And then just a little swirl into the paper towel. And it's cool because they're just brand new again. It's really hard to show. I'm like trying to, I'm gonna miss and spray myself in the face. And then I just swirl off all the makeup. I don't do this every time I do my makeup, like at all, but I tend to do it a lot with my eyeshadow brushes because I use different colors all the time and I don't want them to mix and be muddy. So I do it with my eyeshadow brushes a lot. And I mean, I've been doing this for a long time and I've had these eyeshadow brushes for a long time and it makes them just like brand new and fluffy again. And you can use them right away. You don't have to wait for them to dry, and they're sanitized and conditioned and it's amazing. So I do that occasionally before I do my makeup. I just do a quick clean on a few of the brushes that are a little dirty. But like, for example, I mean, my brushes aren't totally clean. I'm not perfect about it, but I don't feel the need to do it every time I apply my makeup. I feel like I clean my brushes like once a week, like all of them, or once every other week, but I deep clean them like every month or two, like with soap and water and the whole deal, just to make sure that they're like really clean. But anyway, so I was just doing that. I was just cleaning a few of my eyeshadow brushes because I want to do an eyeshadow look, of course. I picked out these colors today. So it's like a really fall look, browns. I got some new eyeshadows because I'm replacing some of just my older ones. So I have Salem and Philly. These are brand new, gorgeous. Bubba and Hot Chocolate. So I'm going to do like a really chocolatey, smoky eye situation. And then I have a few Demi Correctors that I'm going to use, but then otherwise all of my makeup is just all on this layer of my palette that I'm going to use. I have my highlights, my contour, lip and cheek, Illuminator, and then my brows right here. There's brow wax and contour that I use for my brows. So let's do it. I don't want this video to be super long. I tend to talk too much and then the videos are too long. So I'm going to start with my Demi Correctors, okay? I like to wear as little makeup as possible because I feel like it looks the most natural and it lets my skin actually show. You know, I have a few things, like for example, that I want to hide, but I don't want to just put on full coverage makeup just to cover a couple zits. Hey girl, I miss you. Okay, so let's get started. I need to find my brush. I like to start with my Demi Correctors because I like to use these to filter away the things that bother me the most. And then I just put a light layer of makeup on top of that. So that's what we're going to do today. So these are the only colors I'm going to use today. You really don't need a lot of colors. This one I don't even use all the time. So this one's a little extra that I'm going to do. But like these 4 colors are kind of my core colors that I use. I have 𝗚1, which is just orange, R1, which is pink. This is GY1, which is limited edition, but it's like a yellow with a little bit of green in it. And then this is 𝗚Y1, which is a really, really bright orangey yellow. So these are the ones that I use on the daily basis. I have a lot of other colors that I use for different things or if my skin's kind of changing, but these are like my core colors. So we're going to start with that. I always use my Demi Correctors on this redness or on my nose. I know a lot of us have it. I don't like to use concealer or makeup here because it creases right in the fold of my nose and it drives me crazy. So I'm going to use my Demi Correctors. I'm going to use this orange yellow right here to get the really dark blue violet that's in like the crease of my nose. This is really hard to do without a mirror, so I'm gonna have to look in the mirror, but I'm just doing the lightest amount of makeup possible because this is such a bright color, it will show on your skin. And that's not what you want. You just want to kind of get rid of the redness that you're seeing without seeing orange on your face. So, whoop, I just stuck my brush in my contour shade, whoops. So I like to just kind of fluff it on with this is the Bright brush, by the way, it's a Demi brush, it's on sale. And then I flip it over, I forgot I put that in contour. Okay. I flip it over to the fluffy side and just kind of fluff over that area to make sure that it's all blended out and you can't see any of the actual like orangey color. But as you can see, it got rid of a lot of the redness already. I think a lot of people think that they have redness and they try to use green on it. It doesn't work because most of what I was seeing was actually excess violet and excess blue causing darkness, not redness. So I know that's a common misconception. Now I'm going to use this one right here, which is a yellow green, to get rid of any remaining more red like underneath here. And I'm just barely touching my skin. This is literally like invisible makeup. You're barely applying anything. You're not trying to actually cover anything in your skin. You're just trying to add a filter so that it changes the color you see, if that makes sense. So there, I erased all the redness around my nose and now I don't have to apply concealer to it and it won't crease in the folds of my nostrils for the rest of the day. It just drives me crazy. All right, let's tackle these friends, these gorgeous little friends that I have down here. Actually, no, first things first. I'm gonna use the fluffy side of my brush and I'm actually gonna tone around my mouth a little bit. A lot of us have just sort of larger areas of discoloration, like around the eyes or around the mouth. Just, it looks really green to me. It's like really yellow. So what I like to do is I like to take my pink shade, because this is R1, which is red. So red is the opposite complementary color to green. So I'm using the complementary shade to filter away that excess green in my skin. And this is seriously invisible. You should not see pink on your skin. This is just fluffing over the area of discoloration. I call this toning. I'm toning my skin. I'm not hiding anything or covering anything or applying a layer of makeup. It's just toning what you can see. And I wanted to do this first because I'm gonna do these blemishes and I wanted the underlying area to be balanced out first. See, now it's more in balance with the rest of my face. It's very subtle, but it makes such a huge impact. Now I can do these too. Dang zits. So I have videos on blemishes more intensely if you wanna see that, but basically these blemishes are like halfway through their healing process right now, so they're kind of red still. So there's some excess violet in them, but they're starting to get darker as they heal. So there is going to be some excess blue causing darkness in them as well. So I think what I'm going to do is start with my yellow green. I need a mirror to do this. It's difficult to go back and forth. Oh, I left it behind me. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to take this yellow green shade. And I'm just going to get all the excess violet that I see, anything that looks really red. And this is going to make my blemishes disappear, and it's not going to add any makeup texture to it, so they'll really just disappear from view. So I got rid of the redness, but as you can see, there's still a little shadow there, causing some darkness so you can still see them. So I'm going to have to use some orange to get rid of that excess blue. So I'm going to do just a little bit of this 01. Just to get rid of the little, it almost looks like a bruise under the skin when you see this excess blue. I always feel like blue looks like it's under your skin, like there's darkness underneath there. So by using orange, it just makes it disappear. So now you can't see the blemishes. Like you can see a little bit of like a scab on one of them because I can't do anything about that. But you'd have to really get up in there to see that, you know? So blemishes are gone. All right, now let's just do some under eyes real quick. I basically just use one color for my under eyes. I just use orange because I don't have very dark under eyes. And really all I like to get rid of is this shadow right here. So that's just excess blue causing a shadow on my face. Part of it's structural just because there's a concavity right there where my face meets my eye socket. But some of it is actually darkness, just like from blood supply in the skin and things like that. So it's just excess blue. So I'm just gonna take some orange and I'm very, very lightly applying this only where I see the darkest points. You can always kind of go back and do more, but with under eyes, the less you do, the better it's gonna look. Like you just wanna do the least. You just wanna freshen it up and make it a little brighter and kind of take away that shadow a little bit. And that's what you want. It just looks youthful and bright and pretty. You don't wanna go overboard with your under eyes. And I feel like you kind of have to adjust your expectations. It's not going to look like you applied Shape Tape. You know, it's not going to look like a flawless porcelain doll, but that's not what we look like. That's not natural. So I like a more natural look. So I like to just do the least possible. I like to tilt my head down so I can really see where the shadows are. And then when I bring my head back up, I can see where I'm at. See how it looks. And it just looks so much brighter. I mean, I'm happy with that. I don't really feel like I need to go and do tons. And I have these dark outer corners of my eyes here. Just kind of erasing that. And then I do have a little bit of darkness just right here. There's a vein that I can see. So I just like to brighten that up a little bit. I haven't really been looking to see if anyone has any questions. If you have any questions and I don't answer, I'll try to respond after if I don't see it. Okay. Last place that I'm going to use my Demi is these little dark spots on my forehead. So there's like an overall discoloration right here of green. So I just fluff on a little bit of that pink again over these whole sections. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that pink to get rid of this excess green in my skin. When you're doing Demi, you really need good light and a mirror so you can get really up close and be precise, because you really only want to apply each color where it needs to go. You don't want to go outside the lines, so to speak, because then you're just going to be creating a new color issue for yourself. And I just wanted that melasma to just kind of fade away. It's not too much of it right now. I feel like it fluctuates and it comes and goes, which, whatever. Melasma is annoying. And I just run the fluffy side of my brush over it to make sure that it's all even. All right, that's it. So I did all my Demi Correctors. I know that seemed like a lot, but I'm talking through it. If I was just doing this bing, bang, boom on my own, it would just take a couple minutes. So it doesn't need to be intimidating. Now I'm gonna apply my regular makeup on top, just like for a little bit of extra drama and punch. I'm gonna be adding color back. So I'm gonna start actually with my shape brush. This is my absolute favorite lately. This is actually a Demi color brush, so it's on sale. This one's black, by the way. This was a special artist exclusive. You can't buy the black ones. So I know that's misleading, but this is what it looks like. It's like silver. So you can buy those, but mine is black, it's special. So I like to use this fluffy side to apply my highlight because it's so soft and so fluffy that I like that I can just add it on and it doesn't disturb my Demi Correctors underneath at all. Because that's one thing, if you're using a really stiff brush and you're really pressing your makeup in, you might kind of swipe away the Demi Correctors that you did. So you really want to make sure that you're like gently applying makeup on top. So I'm going to just do my main highlight shade right here. It's White Peach. Just going to get a little bit on my brush. And I'm just gonna apply that everywhere I would normally, which is like around my mouth, around on the bottom of my jaw. To the other side. It looks like I'm not doing anything because my shade is so perfect for me that it just melts into my skin and disappears. If you need help with a custom shade match, fill out my color match form and I will send you your colors in your email. Okay. So I'm just doing some White Peach and then I'm going to add a little bit to my forehead here. And I like that I can just sort of pat this on and it doesn't disturb my Demi. But it just really gives that like airbrush look and just blends it into the skin. I'm going to flip my brush around and use this smaller side to do my brightening highlight. I'm going to add just a little bit of it. This one right here, this is called Versailles. This is very brightening. I'm just going to brighten up the center of my face a little more. I'm not putting too much in my under eye area because I don't want to apply a bunch of makeup that's just going to crease and I don't want to deal with it, to be honest. Like I could powder it and avoid that kind of thing, but I just like to leave it pretty fresh personally. Just going to brighten up the center of my face. So like the center of my forehead here, my chin, my upper lip, down the center of the nose. All right, that's it for that. I'm gonna add some contour now. I'm gonna use my detail brush and we're gonna do this shade, which is Ash. This has been my go-to shade for quite a while now. I haven't really been straying from it very much. I used to use Astoria all the time, but most people can use more than one shade. This has just been my fave lately. So I'm just going to contour underneath my cheekbones. I just apply it right underneath my cheekbone, right where it rounds under, keeping most of the color back towards my ear here, and having it get lighter as it goes towards the center of the face. And then I like to blend upward to make sure that I'm really lifting my cheekbones up. You really don't want to apply your contour too low. That's kind of a dead giveaway. You don't want it anywhere below here. Imagine an imaginary line from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. You don't want to apply any contour below that. It'll drag your face down and it'll look strange. You want it to look like a natural shadow on your face. So just look at your face sometime and see where the shadows are when you turn your head in the light. That's where you want to contour. And it might be hard at first or intimidating at first, but you can totally get the hang of it and then you just know what to do. I bet I could do this with my eyes closed nowadays. And it went a little low, so what I could do is I can even take some of my highlight shade and like clean it up a little bit, lift it up. All right, now I'm gonna do my forehead and like the entire perimeter of my face, basically, just all along my hairline, making sure to blend up into the hairline so that there's not an obvious difference there. And it just adds a lot of color and dimension and a little bit of a bronzy look. Being kind of light-handed today, so I just want to make sure it's blended out. And then I'm going to add a little bit of nose contour. So I love using this for nose contour because it has such like sharp edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tap that into my contour shade. And I'm just going to drag this lightly down the top of my nose. It's on the top of my nose. I have like a bump right here in my nose. So I really want to make sure to go straight down it so it kind of eliminates the look of that bump in the bridge of my nose. All I can think about is that TikTok about contouring. And it's like, illuminate the nose. Men don't like nostrils. Okay. So I basically drew 2 lines down either side of my nose and I put them really close together to make my nose look really slim. And just making sure I blend on the sides so that you can't see that there are lines on my face. You don't want that. And I am going to flip my brush around and put just a little bit of contour under the tip of my nose and just make sure it's all blended. You can really make your nose contour pop by just taking a little bit of your brightening highlight shade and just put like the tiniest amount just down the center to just like really make it more contrast with light and darkness. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take a little contour under my bottom lip. I just realized that my application ruined my Demi a little bit on those zits. Dang it. That's my bad. Darn it. I'm just gonna make those go away again. Usually I say to apply your Demi underneath your other makeup, but you can kind of add a little bit on top like this, especially if you have a thin layer of highlight on, something that's not too thick. You can fix things like that. No big deal. Okay. All right, so we're highlighted and contoured. If you like to add powder, you can do that now. I think I'm going to actually. I wasn't planning on it, but let's do it. I've been using this lately, and it's really good. I got this recommendation from Tati on YouTube. Not from her personally. I mean, she's talked about it in a video, but it's the COVERGIRL Advanced Radiance powder. And it's just a really good drugstore product for like, I've just been trying a few drugstore options because people ask me sometimes like what they can use, and I didn't really know how a lot of options performed from the drugstore, so I was just trying some things, and I really like this one. I'm just taking down the shine a little bit in the center of my face so I'm not too shiny. Just using my powder brush to just like really press it into the skin. That's good. Okay. All right. Blush. Let's do some blush real quick. I have this shade right here. This is Hollywood. It's like a peachy pink and it has a little bit of a gold shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see that. I recommend this one a lot because it just seems to be one of those shades that's pretty on everyone. This is actually kind of a dupe for the NARS Orgasm shade. They're extremely similar. I've swatched them side by side before. I have swatches of that somewhere, but they're extremely similar. This is a matte or a satin matte shade, so it has shimmer in it, but it's not glossy, if that makes sense. I think it might be the only shade that has shimmer in it and no gloss. So I'm just putting that on the apples of my cheeks with my blush brush. Okay, just a little bit of color. I'm gonna add some of that to my lips, just a little. I really like to do it this way. I don't know why. I don't usually like to swipe. I just pat. I don't know why. It just feels right. Okay. And I'm going to put some of this gloss on top. This is Sunshine State. It's discontinued. I'm sorry. But I know some of you have it. It's just glossy and shimmery. I just usually like a little bit of gloss on my lips, just personally. The natives are getting restless. Okay. Last step for the face is Illuminator. I'm going to use this one right here. This is Honey. It's a cream illuminator. So I'm just going to pat that on the high points of my face with my finger. So on the very tops of my cheekbones, it just gives that glow. Look at that. There are powder illuminators as well, but I prefer the creams because I just feel like they look like your natural skin. And I like that they just melt into the skin and just look so... And they're not too bright. You know, like they don't look fakey. They look natural. A little bit on the nose, the Cupid's bow. I like to put some on the center of my chin there. Glow. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like all the colors. I love to play with them all. I like variety. I'm trying to play with colors that I haven't used in a while. Oh, the blushes. Yeah, I love the blush. See, I'm using Hollywood today because I don't remember the last time I used it, so that's just a crime. Okay, I'm gonna do brows really fast. I have my Cola contour right here and my angled brush, and I'm just gonna fill in a few little bare spots. Just making like hair-like strokes with my brush. I have to concentrate when I do this part, or they'll come out looking weird. But then I just comb through them up and out. You can use any of the contour shades. Some work better than others, like Shadow and Ash work pretty well. And Cola if you have dark brows like me. Otherwise, you can use any of the eyeshadows for your brows as well. I recommend Trust and Oak a lot. If you need help with that, you can let me know and I'll let you know which colors would work for your brows. But I really like using Cola contour. Nothing has really compared to it since I started using it years ago. Okay, and now we're gonna do brow wax. I like to use a little disposable spoolie for brow wax because otherwise my spoolie gets all gunky. I'm gonna take my setting spray and I'm actually going to spray it directly onto the brow wax, just a little. And then I take my spoolie and just swirl it in there vigorously because I want a lot. I really want my eyebrows to be waxy. Oops, okay. Okay, I got a lot on there and I'm just going to brush my brow hairs up and out. Okay. I really, really like a feathery full brow, so. Okay, there we go. And I love that this really like holds all day and doesn't get like flaky or anything. Okay. Now we're gonna do the eyes. This video is taking forever. I am incapable of doing a short live video. I am sorry. All right, we're gonna do the eyes now. We're gonna do a brown smoky eye look. I think I'm gonna try just using my eyeshadow brush for like the whole thing. I'm going to start with the fluffy side of this, and we're going to start with our crease transition shade. So we're going to use this one right here. This is Bubba. It's a matte medium taupe brown color, but it's very warm toned. I'm just going to tap my brush into Bubba, and then I'm just going to put this in my crease. So back and forth, all in the eye socket. If you have hooded eyes, one trick you can do is to apply the eyeshadow higher than you think. And you see how my eyes are open while I'm applying this? That is another trick for me. I feel like when my eyes are closed, I can't really like see what it's gonna look like. I can't see what I'm doing, you know? So I like to have my eyes half open while I do this. And I kind of raise my eyebrows and just make it where I can see the eyeshadow when my eyes are open. And so if you have hooded eyes, just place it higher up, closer to the eyebrow than you think you even need to do. There, that's good. Now I'm gonna flip my brush around and I'm gonna use this small smudgy side, and we're gonna use Philly, which is just a matte chocolate brown shade. Actually, shoot, I should have used the fluffy end. Is it too late now? No, okay, well, too late now. I'm just gonna apply this all over the outer corner. So like the outer third to half of my eyelid. And then stopping basically when I get to the crease. So this is a new eyeshadow. This is brand new. This is the first time I've ever used it, and it's so good. It's so much better than my old one. I'm trying to replace my old eyeshadows because they're just old and expired. And it's just, you know, for sanitary reasons, they need to go. And this is so fun. They're so like pigmented and blendable when they're brand new. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I just added a little bit of smoke to the outer corner. Now I'm gonna add some of this to like my bottom lash line. Just all along the bottom. Like that. I'm gonna just take a little bit of that Philly shade with the fluffy side of the brush. And I'm just, in little tiny circle blending motions, just adding it more into the corner and just kind of dragging it out. So it makes it this whole area more dramatic. This is just optional. I just wanted to add a little bit more, be a little extra. Okay. Now I want to add more drama, so I'm going to do black. This is Salem. It's a matte black. It's like a true matte black. This is brand new, so I'm nervous. Okay, I just really want to add this kind of along the lash line, focusing on the outer corner. So I'm not really going all the way in, just on the outer to add more definition and smokiness on the outside of the eye. New eyeshadows are amazing. Ooh. It's like effortless. Okay, just making sure it's blended. Okay, I like that. So now the last step, I'm gonna add a little shimmer. So I have hot chocolate right here. This is an extremely shimmery foiled metallic, and it's a little bit brown. I'm gonna actually just take my pinky finger in it. It's super impactful. I'm just gonna put this all over the center and towards the inner corner, I guess, of the eyelid. Yeah, okay, that's pretty. I can never do this on my opposite eye. I should have used my other hand. You can also use your brush and like spray a little bit of the setting spray on your brush, and it would get more of an impact if you wanted to use a brush and not your finger. Just a little tip. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much it, y'all. I know this video is longer than I wanted it to be, but it's my full face and my chocolate smoky eyeshadow. Let me know what you think. If you need help being color matched, you can fill out my color match form through the link in my bio, and then I will email you your colors. And if you need help just picking out any shades or with anything really, you can always just message me. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.